Nally's here in Ballymahon, a well-established business, it has to be said, a well-known stopping off point, a well-known landmark here in Ballymahon. People travelling from west to east would stop off here on a regular basis. Not only is it a Topaz service station, but also now, as I said, the nice people from Spar have arrived in style, it must be said, in Ballymahon. And to tell us more, I'm delighted to say Peter Dwan, the regional manager with Spar, is with us. And congratulations, one can sense you put a lot of thought and a lot of time into creating this beautiful store.
Well, thank you very much for making me feel so special with that title. Very nice. No, we're very proud. We're very honoured that John and his family have brought the business over to the Spar brand.
Yeah.
John asked us many months ago when we met originally that he wanted the very best store for Ballymahon, that he felt it was something that lacked in the area, and he wanted to showcase his family's history as being the driving force behind the site here. So anyway, we sat down with our crayons and we drew a picture, and finally that picture is now complete, and we're delighted that John and his family have the store that they dreamed of.
He should use it as his motto from now on. When I arrived in here this morning, I said to him, John, it's a beautiful new store, and he says, look, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. And he has done just that.
When we met John originally, it was a learning curve for us as well, because the only thing that he said to us is, do it right, no shortcuts. And if you see what the store looks like now, plus the actual entire site, he didn't just concentrate on the store, he concentrated on the tire centre, concentrated on his fuel business. He's a believer in doing everything right, and on behalf of Spar, we think that John's going to bring a huge plus to our brand, and hopefully we help him along the way.
Just for the benefit of listeners, take us through what you've done here in a general sense, because I know this is something that Spar are doing on a regular basis at strategic sites, let's put it that way, right across the country. This is a new design, a new look, isn't it, for Spar stores?
Yeah, we believe very much that the retailer knows more about their business than we'll ever do. So we'll always have to feed off them as to what's right for the area. John was very passionate that he wanted a place where people could sit down, relax, eat some food. They have the Hyundai garage here, so they're very, very well known, and he wanted to make absolutely certain that the store was a family bit. It was a family feel store rather than just another supermarket. We're very lucky that our brand is very strong, our beliefs are very, very strong, and we learn from our retailers, which is why we have the sites open. If they're strategic, brilliant. If they're not, we're delighted either way.
But there's a specific branding, I know. It's very, very spacious, it's well laid out, and obviously ultra modern in its design. It's very airy as well, very bright. Yeah,
well, that's what good people do. We do good jobs.
Yeah.
So no, when we met John, the store was a very old, tired store, and he wanted to move it up to the next century, and he moved. This was originally the car showroom.
Yes.
They built the new showroom down the road, and it's 2,500 square foot of a shop against 1,000 square foot previously. They brought in a whole new range of product that they didn't have previously. Really concentrated on the fresh element of the business. John's employed a chef here as well to bring a new dimension to the deli. So there's nothing quite like a man who believes in what he believes in, and John's done a great job doing just that.
He has indeed. Great to talk to you, Peter. And just a quick word, we can't forget Topaz, and Declan is here from Topaz, and I know you just want to wish John all the very best. It's a very, very convenient marriage here.
It is. Absolutely, Joe. As you say, on behalf of Topaz, to John, Elaine and all the Nally family, we'd love to extend our congratulations on a fantastic operation. The store looks brilliant. It's a credit to John, and as Peter said, the passion and hard work that they put in and their belief in doing everything absolutely that bit better. So well done to John, to Elaine, to John Jr. I think they have a fantastic setup for both local trade here in Ballymahon and for transient trade on the road. The coffee offer looks fantastic, the sit down area is fantastic, the deli looks brilliant, so it's a credit to everybody who's been involved over the last period of time.
Thank you both for joining us in the studio, and it's now up and running, as they say, and I'm conscious, as I said earlier, that people travelling probably from Dublin to the west, or from the west towards Dublin for whatever reason. I remember as a Mayo man, Ballymahon was always a very popular stopping off point, and still is. Well, next time you're driving through, check out this beautiful new spacious store here at Nally's in Ballymahon, just on the left as you come in from Lanesborough, as they say. Now,
so the chief executive board paid 400,000 to lose 50 or 60 million a year. I wouldn't put him in charge of designing and building a ramp to a duck house. Now, as far as the water is concerned, the Shannon and all its tributaries are at a critically low level. We measured the water levels yesterday evening at Ballymulligan. There were 6 inches of water in the river Ely after 3 weeks of sunshine. Can you imagine the effect of a 500 million litres a day abstraction in
But
the Shannon?
we all know what happened with the Shannon 2 and 3 and 4 years ago during the winter months, and it's my understanding that the proposal involves taking the excess water from the Shannon system when it floods, which technically, for an outsider like myself, an onlooker, makes perfect sense.
If you look at Dublin City Council's website, they're proposing to abstract the water for 10 months of the year. The time they will need it most is during the summer when it has lowest level. 500 million litres of water is 1/3 of the entire capacity of Lochreed every year. Absolutely unsustainable. Scientific research over 4 years by the head of the environment in Trinity College and by Jack O'Sullivan has proven it's totally unsustainable.
But they have to get it.
the Shannon.
They have to get it from somewhere. Busy morning here at Nally's Spar, the brand new Spar store in Ballymahan, and John and staff and family looking after us very, very well. We're sipping coffee here and beautiful coffee cups, and look, you're on radio on a regular basis. You know, I'm sure all the time you can say this, but you can't say that, you can mention this. All I'm going to say for now is this Insomnia coffee is lovely.
Well, what I do,
And you know why it's so lovely? Because it's free. Bobby Kerr, good morning to you.
Good morning, Joe. It's lovely to be here with you this morning. It's great when you're actually on air. You say you get the guests to talk about Insomnia coffee. You don't. You just step back and you just tell the guests, tell them there how great it is.
We're going to talk about that success story in a moment, but I got a call yesterday from a friend of mine who said, Bobby Kerr is on your show tomorrow. I said, yeah, he is. He says, you know something, there's a strong Strokestown connection there. I said, oh, here we go, this is another Obama money goal moment. Even today on this program we've discovered that there's strong links between Goldsmith and the Middletons and the royal family, what have you. But it's true, we were doing our homework. You are strongly linked and connected to Strokestown.
My grandfather was from Strokestown, Fred Kerr. His father Samuel worked in the famine house there as the accountant, no less. His wife Lizzie was ran the post office in Strokestown for many years, and I only discovered all this recently. Somebody approached me, so I've been delighted and honoured, I have to say honoured, to be invited down to their gathering event. And I'm going down with some of my sisters on Sunday, and I'm going to look to meet all. And interestingly enough, on Bond Street, where the old family house was, is now a Spar shop where there's an Insomnia coffee machine.
I was going to say, I'm telling you. And have you ever been to Strokestown?
Percy Hanley's, look.
That's right, Percy
yeah,
Hanley.
Percy Hanley's.
Have you ever been to Strokestown?
I have, I've been there, and I kind of always had this sort of, I knew that there was some connection there, I didn't know what it was, and then this guy just approached me and said, I've done your whole family tree, and there's this amazing stuff about this, and we were Protestants, and then we became Catholics, and there's all this wild stuff.
Well, when you go down to Strokestown this Sunday, you will meet a truly amazing man by the name of Jim Calorie. Very successful businessman like yourself, hugely successful. I have great admiration for Jim. He's a former director here at Shannonside Northern Sound Radio, and he made money when nobody could make money. And that to me is the true sign of an entrepreneur and successful businessman, and a great guy to talk to, but the man responsible for the Famine Museum and Strokestown Park House. Where are you now career-wise then? Because you're still, I know, involved with Insomnia, what have you.
Well,
and all the investments you made on the Den, you're still very much involved there.
I am. I did like, Insomnia is my main business, always will be. I did 4 years on the Dragons Den, didn't do last year, so I just found that I had enough investments. I've got 9 investments for the show, and I didn't really want any more, couldn't really handle any more. So
because it's not all made up, you guys do actually have to write the checks.
I've written the checks, let me tell you.
But writing checks in the middle of what is probably the greatest recession come depression in the history of the stage, you must be mad, or otherwise you're kicking it out of your way, one or the other.
I know, like I was lucky enough along the way to make a few quid, and I love business. The only reason I'm still solvent is that I have no interest in property, never had. I like to invest in businesses, I like to invest in people, and I love working with people in different types of businesses. I get tremendously enthused by other people's energy, by helping them, maybe showing them some of the mistakes that I've made, and I've made many, but just that sort of bringing something or an idea or a product that somebody has in their head and helping them maybe to get it to market, I find tremendously rewarding.
How did you stay out of properties?
I just wasn't interested.
You hit the nail on the head. I've seen some wonderful businesses that have nothing whatsoever to do with property, but the profits were invested in property, and ultimately it brought down the business. How did you stay out of it?
It wasn't that I was smarter than anybody else or knew something that others didn't. I just wasn't interested. I only want to own my own home. That's why that's really the only sort of property ambition I've ever had. And thankfully I think it might have come home to roost.
So as a successful businessman, still doing well business-wise in the middle of this terrible slump that we find ourselves in, where are we now, do you think, as regards our recovery? This week we're told in Dublin that these property prices are rising, but then at the same time, every time, I only had it this week on the program once again, when you talk to young budding entrepreneurs or people who are running a small business, they cannot get access to credit. That seems to be the big issue.
Yeah, and you've touched on a couple of things there, Joe. Like it's still tough out there, and again, we're in the front end of retail in Insomnia. You know, we are on the high street. We've got 70 shops now, and I can tell you, I've been there through. You know, we've got customers losing their jobs, customers with less income, customers emigrating, and you really have. So the pie is getting smaller. Yeah. You've got things like and challenges like upward only rents where that we're locked into leases that you can't get out of, and but you also have, and this is the critical thing, you've got a consumer base that is craving value, and if you can't, you have to have a value proposition now if you're to survive, and if you're to compete, because the customers are out there seeking value. Access to credit, it's a big issue, but there are a few little bits, maybe a little bit of brightness on the horizon. Things like Microfinance Ireland, where you can get 25k. The only thing you need is a turnover of less than 2 million, less than 10 employees, and have been turned down by the banks. That ain't hard. And you can get up
forming already.
You can get up to 25k from them. But there's a few bits out there if you go looking.
But to try and motivate the budding entrepreneur, you know, again, people are prepared to put in the hours, they are prepared to work hard, they have huge belief in the idea of the project that they're involved in, but then they slam door in the face every time. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, I find young people who aspire to be successful in business, in time they just leave. And they go. I was chatting to a guy during the week, and he tells me his son, who I have great respect for as a businessman, has gone to Canada. I said, my word, we're losing. The brain drain is starting.
No, and that's the sad bit. And again, I've 4 daughters, 2 of them in college, and one just graduated, and you say, where's she going to go? She's going to go overseas. And that's the tragedy, that we can't keep, as you say, our best and brightest here. But, you know, it's funny. We've very short memories, Joe. And, you know, when we were in the boom, nobody remembered the recession. Now, no one seems to almost remember the boom. And I think it will come back. It'll be slow. We probably have another hard 5 years, I'd suggest, slugging it out, doing, you know, and then we'll probably go off and do the same thing all over again.
Well, there is good news. People like John Nally and the Nally family are investing, and
can I say that I'm honoured to be invited down here today by John. John put faith in our business. He's taken in the Insomnia coffee. We hope we're going to drive his sales, and again, we've opened in a few more places around in Mullingar, Tarn and Barry, other next to this wood. So we hope that the Insomnia brand is going to go from strength, and it's thanks
John
to people like John.
John is leading the way.
Thanks to people like John who put faith in our brand that keeps us going.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here this morning in Ballymahan. And people of Strokestown, watch out! Bobby Kerr is returning to his roots this Sunday, bright and early, returning to Bond Street in Strokestown, just on the corner outside Percy Hanley's Spar.
That's it.
Can't wait. Today we're here at Nally's Spar and Topaz service station in beautiful Ballymahan. John Nally has joined us, and congratulations to you, your staff and your family. A proud day for you, and I know you want to extend thanks to a number of people, John.
Yes, Joe. Thanks very much, Joe. I just wanted a short message of thank you to all my customers
and staff and the people of Ballyman for their, I mean, my father built here in March '61 and we're proud to be Ballyman for that long, and we do a lot of stuff very well. We
Right.
Football shoe and Insomnia coffee.
And now Spar.
Now Spar have come along
And a beautiful, huge extension here. But you also wanted to extend thanks to your customers, I know, and your wonderful staff as well. They're here with you all the way.
of course, you're very important staff, and the people of Ballyman have been so loyal for years. It's so important.
And your own family, I know, your brothers.
My brothers Mark and Robbie, and my wife Elaine, and my family. Big thank you for them all.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for having us here
course.
as well. It has been a real pleasure, and you should be very, very proud of this beautiful story. It looks magnificent.
Thank you. Thank you
Well
very
done
much.
to you and all your family. Good man, John. From John Nally in Ballyman to John Lynch in Studio 1, good morning to you. What have we got today?
Right, can I come to you? Can I come to you? No, you're going to get a big cheer. All right. Okay. So when everybody gives a cheer, when I get to a few more people,
Mary, find it over here, come on.
yeah, we'll have some kids over here. Can you come over here? Perfect. Lovely. That's great. Now, when I say 1, 2, 3, can everybody can I give you a cheer? I'll do a cheer with your mouth. Right? So on 3.
Cheers.
Okay, so 1, 2,
Now, would you like some potato? Benches.